So I want to welcome you to the analysis this afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir. You're welcome, sir. How is your family, sir?
Very fine, thank you, ma.
You're welcome.
Yes, ma'am.
Sir.
All right. So this afternoon we have one event, and that is the unemployment claims from the United States, which will come up by 2:30 p.m. It's coming up by 2:30 p.m. If the data comes out good for the dollar, we'll look at buying the USD, and if it's bad, we'll look at selling the USD. But I'll show you the specific instrument I'm looking at for that particular event. Unemployment claims, I always say it, any news that has to do with employment will most likely move the market. So we should expect some volatility on the market this afternoon. So let me go over to the chart and show us what I'm looking at, the specific instruments I'm looking at today. So I'll be looking at the dollar index since we're expecting a news from the United States. Now, FOMC was released yesterday. The actual came out equal to forecast. But technically, I've told us all along that I had a bearish outlook on the USD CHF. And you can see the massive crash in USD CHF when that news was released. I mean, USD CHF dropped. It's still selling up to this point. Though it's too late to enter. I'm not saying you should enter. Just giving an update. Between yesterday and today, it has crashed to the tune of about 84 pips. All right, so back to the dollar index. Now, due to the FOMC where the data came out bad, came out actually equal to forecast, which means there is no change in the data. Now, price dropped now to a support, a resistance down to support level on the daily time frame for the dollar index. Now, at this point, we might be looking at a possible reversal on the dollar. From a technical perspective, this is purely technical. So I'll be looking at a bullish dollar for the news. So if the data comes out good for the dollar, we'll be looking at, buying the dollar. But then the major instrument I'm looking out for, I'll be looking out for Euro USD and possibly gold. These are the two instruments I'm looking out for to respond or to react to this news event. So technically, I'm bullish on the dollar. But then I'll be looking at possibly a bearish movement on Euro USD and gold. So this is Euro USD on the daily time frame. Price is trading around a resistance level on the daily time frame. Now it also depends on how the data is released. If it's a kind of data that will lead to a spike in the market, well, that also may have its implication. But from what I'm seeing at the moment, on the daily time frame, Euro USD is trading around the resistance level on the daily time frame. And on the 1 hour, I'm seeing a kind of a pattern, a very powerful pattern, which happens a lot of times when the market is about to reverse. I'm seeing it form. And that's a possible formation of a shoulder, a head, a second shoulder, and a drop. But now the effect of this news, we don't know what it is yet, but technically, since we are bullish on the dollar, the data may come out in such a way that if it's good for the dollar, we may see a drop on the Euro USD. Now, this is what happens if the dollar is strong, then an instrument like USD CHF, will buy, while Euro USD will sell. So if the data comes out good like we anticipate, that may lead to a drop in Euro USD, to form this, to complete the head. Then later on, possibly not this session, later on, price may go up again for a drop. But at least the important part of it for now is this. If the data comes out good for the dollar, if you're fast enough, you may take a sell on Euro USD, because Euro USD may sell to this next minor support level, which will be the potential neckline of the head and shoulder pattern when it's fully formed. That's a move of between 10 to 30 pips. So if the data comes out good for the dollar, you may just sell and cash on 10, 15 pips and you'll be out of the trade. So I'm bearish on the Euro USD because I'm bullish on the dollar for the news coming up by 2:30 p.m. And similarly, like I said, I'll also be looking at gold. Gold has been ranging on the daily time frame, and yesterday, again, it closed around the resistance zone on the daily. The current daily candle is looking like kind of a rejection candle. So technically, since gold is trading around the resistance level on the daily, we'll be looking at a reversal on gold. And if we switch over to the 4-hour time frame, there's a pattern that's been forming on gold, which I've been watching for some days now. You know, on the resistance, we have a resistance on the daily. I can also see here a trend line that is descending on the 4-hour, all pointing to a potential bearish direction on gold. So if the data again comes out good for the dollar, just like we're expecting a bearish movement on Euro USD, we may be expecting a bearish movement on gold. And what will make gold even a high probability is we have the descending trend line, we have the resistance, and we also have the possible formation of a head and shoulder on the 4-hour, which may trigger a sell on gold. So we're bearish on both the Euro USD and gold. Though gold, I will advise you still come down to a lower time frame, like 1 hour, and possibly look for a breakout below this recent low on 1 hour. You may look out for a new candle below this low and possibly target the next support, which is this region. That's all you need to target for gold, and that can give as much as, let's just say, really like 120 pips thereabout. That's all you're targeting on gold if the data comes out good for the dollar. So we're bearish on both the Euro USD and gold, with the outlook that the data will come out good for the dollar. Now, what if the data comes out bad for the dollar? Then stay out of Euro USD and gold. If it's against our analysis, just stay out. Don't do another thing. Just stay out of the market. There will always be another trade. That's what I always tell my students. You don't need to force a trade if it's not going your way. Just stay out. All right, so that's it from the fundamental angle. On the technical, the only setup I'm seeing for this afternoon session is, just a second. All right, so the only other setup I'm looking at this afternoon, I'll be looking at a CHF JPY on 1 hour time frame. All right, so this is CHF JPY on 1 hour. Now, on the 1 hour time frame, price is trading at a resistance level. We have a valid resistance, and price is exactly on that level the third time as we speak. So technically, possibly after the news, there is a possibility for the market to reverse. So I can switch over to a lower time frame, like 1 hour, to look out for potential entry. Or let's go lower to 15 minutes. Okay, either 1 hour or 15 minutes, any one of the two. We're just looking out for a reversal. I'm already on 1 hour. Maybe your network is a bit slow, Mr. Gabriel. I switched over from daily to 1 hour. I was even on 15 minutes at the point, but I'm back to 1 hour. All right, so we have a rising wedge pattern and we're looking out for a breakout of price. It may be a sharp breakout, or price may just range in between the pattern before it breaks out. But either ways, we are bearish on the CHF JPY. And at the point of entry, you are looking out for your RSI to be clearly below 50 and possibly your MACD below 0. So that's the only technical setup I have for us this afternoon. I'm bearish on the CHF JPY. For the benefit of those who joined us late, we're looking at unemployment claims by 2:30 p.m. from the United States. And I said from technical analysis on the dollar index. Dollar index is trading around the support level on the daily time frame. So we're looking at the possible outcome of the news being good for the dollar. So if the data comes out good for the dollar, that means that the dollar is expected to rise, while the dollar pairs where the dollar is a good currency, like the Euro USD, we're expecting it to sell. So we're looking at being bearish on the Euro USD and gold for the news ahead. And for the pure technical analysis, what I have is the CHJPY, where price is a resistance on the daily time frame, and we have a rising wedge on 1 hour, and we're going to be expecting a breakout to the downside. So that'll be all from analysis this afternoon session. Don't forget to join us for NFP live trading next week, Tuesday by 2:15 p.m. I've been announcing this in all sessions, in all training sessions, just for emphasis. I would love to see you trading live with us, on Tuesday. All right, that'll be the end of this analysis session. To trade safe and enjoy the rest of the day. Bye-bye.